Camille! Oh my God, what happened to you?
I don't want to think anymore. I'm tired of feeling so lonely. I don't want to analyze or pray or try to figure out the right thing to do. I don't want to hurt anymore. I'm so tired of hurting. Just make me forget. Please, make me feel something other than this.
Jae-sung's hand stilled on hers. He looked up at her, his dark eyes searching her face. Camille, please, Jae-sung. I'm so tired of being alone, of feeling invisible, of living in a house where I'm nothing but furniture to be ignored. Just make me feel alive. Just once. Please. He stood slowly, pulled her up with him, his hands moving to cup her face with infinite gentleness. His thumbs traced the tear tracks on her cheeks. If we do this, everything changes. You understand that? There's no going back from this. No pretending it didn't happen. Everything already changed. She placed her hands over his, feeling the warmth of his skin, the calluses on his palms. He destroyed us years ago. I just didn't want to see it. I wanted to believe in the vows I made, in the promises we exchanged. But those promises died a long time ago. I'm just finally admitting it. Jae-sung searched her eyes for a long moment, and whatever he saw there made his decision. He kissed her, soft at first, questioning, giving her one last chance to pull away. But she leaned into him instead, her hands moving to his hair, pulling him closer. Years of loneliness and touch starvation pouring out between them. The kiss deepened, became urgent, desperate. She felt his hands in her hair, felt him slowly unzipping her ruined dress, felt the fabric slide off her shoulders. She helped him with his shirt, her bandaged hands fumbling with the buttons until he took over, shrugging it off to reveal the elaborate dragon tattoo that covered the entire left side of his chest. She traced it with her fingers, this permanent mark of who he was, where he came from. No pretense, no hiding, just truth. They moved to his bedroom, and for the first time since she'd married Ji-hoon, Camille felt wanted, desired, seen. Not as property or obligation, but as a woman worthy of tenderness and passion and care. Jae-sung took his time, his touches gentle but sure, paying attention to her responses, learning what made her gasp, what made her sigh. It was so different from Ji-hoon's mechanical encounters, the few times he'd bothered in the past year. This wasn't about taking. It was about giving, about connection. Afterward, they lay tangled together, her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, feeling more at peace than she had in years. "Stay," he murmured against her hair. "Don't go back there tonight." "I can't. He'll..." Let him wonder. Let him worry for once. So she stayed, falling asleep in his arms, in his bed, in a safety she hadn't known existed. Welcome to Soul Afro Stories. I'm so glad you're here. Have you ever been so emotionally exhausted in a situation that you stopped caring about what's right and just did what felt like survival? Maybe it was a relationship, a job, a friendship, where you finally just broke. Comment where in the world you're watching from. I love seeing our global community. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this story is just getting started. The complications? They're about to multiply in ways you won't see coming. Check the link in the description for the complete series. Also, genuine question. Do you think she should feel guilty? Or was this her only way out? I'm really curious what you think. Let's ride on. The morning light woke her, streaming through unfamiliar floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked Seoul's skyline. Camille opened her eyes, saw modern art on unfamiliar walls, expensive sheets she didn't recognize. Memory flooded back in a rush. The anniversary, the destruction, coming here, crossing the line she'd sworn never to cross. Oh God. She sat up quickly, the sheet falling to her waist. Oh my God, what did I do? Don't. Jae-sung was already awake, sitting up beside her, his bare chest showing the dragon tattoo in the morning light. He reached for her hand, but she pulled it back. Don't regret this. I committed adultery. Tears started streaming down her face again, fresh ones mixing with last night's salt. I'm no better than him now. I became exactly what I hated. I promised before God to be faithful, and I broke that promise. I'm a hypocrite and a cheater and... Stop. He caught her hand again, held it firmly. There's a difference between betraying someone who loved you and escaping someone who was killing you. Is there? Camille looked at him with devastated eyes. I made vows, sacred vows, before God and witnesses, in sickness and in health, for better or worse. And I just threw them away. I'm supposed to be better than this. My faith is supposed to mean something. But he broke those vows first. Jae-sung's voice was quiet but intense. Every time he touched you without tenderness, every time he made you feel worthless, every time he chose her over you, every time he degraded you, ignored you, treated you like property instead of a person. He's been breaking those vows for years. That doesn't make what I did right. No. Jae-sung agreed quietly, pulling her against his chest. But it makes it human. You're not a saint, Camille. You're a woman who's been starving for basic kindness and finally accepted a meal. That doesn't make you evil. It makes you human. Camille wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe that she wasn't damned, that she hadn't just destroyed her soul along with her marriage. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, an angry, insistent sound. She reached for it with shaking hands. 15 missed calls, all from Ji-hoon. 3 voicemails. She played the first one on speaker, and Jae-sung heard the fury in her husband's voice. Where the fuck are you? What the hell happened to the apartment? There's food on the walls, broken glass everywhere. The table's overturned. Did you do this? Are you out of your mind? This is insane, Camille. Absolutely insane. Get home. Now. The second. Camille, I'm serious. Where are you? This isn't funny. You can't just destroy our home and disappear. I need an explanation. Call me back immediately. The third, and this one was different. Colder, more controlled. Fine, don't answer. Act like a child. But when you get home, we're going to have a serious conversation about this behavior. This is completely unacceptable. You're my wife. You don't get to throw tantrums and run away. I don't care what you're upset about. This ends now. Jae-sung's entire body had gone rigid. He comes home to see you destroy the place, and his first thought is anger. Not concern. Not worry about where you are or if you're safe. Not guilt that he forgot your anniversary. Just anger that you dared to have a reaction to his cruelty. Camille was already reaching for her clothes, or trying to. Her ruined red dress lay in a heap on the floor, unwearable. I have to go back. I have to face this. You don't have to go back. Yes, I do. She stood up, clutching the sheet around herself. Everything I have is in his name. My visa depends on him. Without him, You're free. I'm deported. Camille's voice cracked. I'm sent back to Los Angeles with nothing. No job, no home, no way to stay in the country I've built a life in. He made sure of that, kept everything in his name, never let me work, made me completely dependent. It was deliberate. I see that now. He wanted me trapped. Jae-sung stood, pulled on his sweatpants, then went to his closet. Wear this. He handed her a simple button-down shirt and sweatpants. She put them on, drowning in his clothes, smelling like his cologne, cedar and something darker, more complex. It felt like wearing his protection. I can drive you, he offered, his voice making it clear he hated letting her go back there. No, that'll make it worse. If he sees me coming home in your car... She shook her head. I'll take a cab. She tied her hair back into a messy bun, washed her face, tried to look less like a woman who just spent the night with her lover, and more like a woman who just slept at a friend's house. The lie sat bitter on her tongue. At the door, he caught her hand. Camille, if he hurts you, if he even threatens to hurt you, you call me immediately. Understand? He won't. Promise me. His grip tightened, not painfully, but urgently. I need to hear you say it. She looked at his face, saw the protective fury barely controlled there, the dangerous man who existed under the gentle lover, and nodded. I promise. He kissed her one more time, and she tried to memorize the feeling, being wanted, being treasured, because she knew the next few hours would be hell. The cab ride home felt like driving toward her execution. Camille watched Seoul pass by the windows, the city waking up on a Saturday morning. People going about their normal lives, having normal problems. She wanted to tell the driver to turn around, to take her anywhere else, to keep driving until they ran out of road. But she didn't. The apartment door was unlocked. She pushed it open slowly, stepped inside, and the smell hit her first. Cleaning products and air freshener, trying to mask the evidence of last night's destruction. Someone had cleaned up most of it. The broken plates were gone, the walls wiped down, though dark stains remained where the food had splattered. The dining table was upright again. The floor swept. Ji-hoon sat on the couch in the living room, perfectly dressed in a business suit despite it being Saturday morning. His hair was styled, his tie straight, his shoes polished. He looked like he was about to go to a board meeting, not deal with his wife returning after a night away. His face was cold, that expression she'd learned to fear over the years. The one that meant he was angry but controlling it, channeling it into something sharp and cutting. "Where were you?" His voice was quiet. Too quiet. "Does it matter?" Camille's voice came out steadier than she felt. "You weren't here. It was our anniversary. I texted you I couldn't make it. I had important business." Camille laughed, a sharp, bitter sound that cut through the artificial calm. "Important business? Is that what you call her?" Something flickered in Ji-hoon's eyes, surprise that she'd gone there, that she'd named it directly. "What did you just say?" "Yuna. Her name is Yuna, isn't it? 26 years old, works in marketing, lives in Gangnam, has been sleeping with my husband for how long now? 6 months? A year?" He stood slowly, deliberately, buttoning his suit jacket. "You went through my phone. You left it unlocked, on the counter, while you showered. The messages just popped up. 'Come back to bed, baby,' with a heart emoji. Not exactly subtle. I asked you a question." He stepped closer, and she saw his hands clench into fists. "Where were you?" Camille met his eyes, feeling something new rise in her chest. Not fear, but defiance. 4 years of swallowing her words, of making herself smaller, of accepting his cruelty as if it was her due. Something had shifted last night. Something had broken, and she couldn't put it back together even if she wanted to. Somewhere I was actually wanted. Somewhere someone looked at me like I was human instead of furniture to criticize or ignore. The implication hung between them, thick and undeniable. "You cheated on me." His voice was dangerously quiet now, each word precise and sharp. "You? After everything I've done for you? After everything you've done to me, you mean?" Ji-hoon moved faster than she expected, closing the distance between them, grabbing her upper arm, tight, painful. His fingers dug into her flesh. "Who is he? Tell me who he is." Camille wrenched her arm free, stumbling back. "Why, so you can destroy that too? Like you've destroyed everything else in my life? My confidence, my art, my sense of self-worth? My ability to feel like a human being instead of a burden you graciously tolerate? You ungrateful bitch." He was breathing hard now, his controlled facade cracking. "I saved you. When you were being deported, when you had nothing, when you were about to be sent back to America with no job and no prospects, I gave you a life, a home, a name, papers that let you stay in this country. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me? You didn't save me. You bought me. And you've been making me pay for it every single day since." Ji-hoon's laugh was cruel, cold. "You stupid woman. Do you have any idea what position you're in? Without me, you're nothing. No visa, no money, no home, no legal right to be in this country. You go to immigration tomorrow without my sponsorship. You're deported within a week. And wherever you think you can run to, whatever man you think will save you, I'll make sure everyone knows what a whore you are. I'll tell your friends, your church, everyone we know. I'll make sure you can never hold your head up again." Camille felt ice in her veins, but she kept her voice steady. "I'd rather be a whore in the streets than property in your home." His hand shot out. She flinched, instinct taking over. But he just pointed at her, his finger inches from her face. "You will stay in this marriage. You will play the perfect wife. You will smile at my colleagues and keep your mouth shut at dinners and pretend we're the happy couple everyone thinks we are. And you will never..." He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "See whoever you fucked last night again. Or I will destroy your entire life. I will have you deported. I will make sure you never work again. I will ruin you so completely you'll wish you'd never been born. Do you understand me? Camille looked at him, really looked at him, and saw him clearly for perhaps the first time. Not the man she'd married, the one who'd seemed kind and stable in those early days. Not the man she'd convinced herself still existed under the cruelty, but the man he actually was. Petty, controlling, threatened by any hint that she might exist independently of him. You already destroyed my life, she said quietly. You just didn't notice because you were too busy destroying me to see the wreckage. She walked past him to the guest room, went inside, locked the door, heard him punch the wall outside, a sharp crack of knuckles against plaster, heard him curse in Korean, heard him storm to his office, slam the door. Only then did she let herself slide down the wall to the floor, pull her knees to her chest, and cry. But this time, her tears weren't just from pain. They were from relief, too. Because for the first time in 4 years, she told him the truth. And she was still standing. 2 weeks passed in a strange, fractured existence. At home, she and Ji-hoon moved around each other like hostile strangers. He left for work early, came home late. She kept to the guest room, emerging only for meals that they ate in silence. He tracked her location obsessively through an app she suspected he'd installed on her phone long ago. But she'd learned to work around it, leaving her phone at coffee shops while she went elsewhere, using excuses about meeting Minji or doing shopping. The lies came easier now. That should have bothered her more than it did. Tuesday afternoon, while Ji-hoon was at a 3-hour business lunch, Camille slipped out, took 2 buses and a cab to make sure she wasn't followed, and met Jae-sung at his penthouse. Thursday afternoon, the same routine. These stolen hours became her oxygen, the only time she could breathe. I can't keep doing this, Camille said. One Thursday, lying in his bed, her head on his chest, tracing the dragon tattoo she'd come to know by heart, every scale, every curve of the serpentine body. Living 2 lives, lying constantly, checking over my shoulder, deleting every text the moment I read it. It's exhausting. Then don't. Leave him. And go where? Do what? She sat up, pulling the sheet around herself. He controls everything. My visa depends on him. I'm here on a spousal visa, which means the day I file for divorce, I'm technically illegal. I have no money of my own. He never let me work, said it would look bad for his image to have his wife working some menial job. Every bank account is in his name. The apartment lease is in his name. Even my phone plan is under his account. He made sure I'd be completely powerless. You'd have me. She looked at him, this beautiful, dangerous man who'd somehow become her refuge. For how long? Until you get tired of the complications? Until you realize I'm more trouble than I'm worth? Until the reality of actually leaving hits and it's not romantic anymore, just messy and legal and difficult? That won't happen. You don't know that. You can't promise that. She turned away. I've learned not to trust promises. Jae-sung sat up beside her, turned her face back to him gently. Tell me about this. The dragon. She knew he was changing the subject, letting her breathe, but she went with it. What does it mean? He pulled her back down against his chest, his arms around her. It's a reminder of who I am, where I come from, the life I've lived. And who are you? Really? I know bits and pieces, but you're always so careful about what you tell me. I've done things, Camille. Dark things. Things I'm not proud of. I'm not a good man. You're better than him. That's not a high bar. He smiled slightly against her hair, then turned serious. I mean it. The things I've done, the world I live in, it's not the world you know. You live in a world of faith and art and trying to do the right thing. I live in a world of violence and money and power. I don't care. You should. He traced her face with one finger, his touch achingly gentle. I've hurt people. I've done things that would make you look at me differently. Things I won't tell you because I don't want to see disgust in your eyes when you look at me. I don't want to lose this, the way you see me as someone good. Everyone has done things they regret. Not like this. His voice was quiet but firm. You don't understand the scale, the darkness, and I won't burden you with it. They fell silent, holding each other, both knowing this conversation wasn't over. Couldn't be over, but neither ready to face all its implications. I should go, Camille finally said, checking the time on her phone. He gets home at 6. If I'm not there, I wish you'd stay. I wish I could wake up with you every morning instead of these stolen afternoons. Me too. She kissed him, long and deep. But wishes don't change reality. She dressed, gathered her things, made sure she looked like a woman who'd been shopping or having coffee, not a woman who'd spent 3 hours in her lover's bed. At the door, he caught her hand one more time. Tuesday? Tuesday, she confirmed. At home, Ji-hoon was already there, pouring himself whiskey in the living room. She could see the tension in his shoulders. He'd had a bad day at work, probably. His tell was always the whiskey. You're home early, Camille said, keeping her voice neutral. That was it. No question about where she'd been. No interest in her day. No acknowledgement of her presence beyond that single sound. She made dinner, his favorite jjigae, though she didn't know why she bothered. He ate it in silence, scrolling through his phone the entire time. She could see him texting, smiling at the screen, those small, private smiles he never gave her. Yuna, definitely. She cleaned up. He went to his office, closed the door. She went to the guest room, lay on the bed, and stared at the ceiling. This was her marriage. This was her life. And she still didn't know how to leave it. But she was starting to realize she didn't know how to stay either. I need to be honest with you about something. It was Tuesday afternoon, and they'd just made love. Sunlight streamed through Jae-sung's floor-to-ceiling windows, making Seoul's skyline glitter. He sat up in bed, moved slightly away from her, and that small distance felt ominous. Camille's stomach dropped. What? My world. It's not the world you know. The business I'm in, the things I do, they're not legal. They're not safe. They're not good. I know you're not just an import-export like you told me at first. No, I'm not. He looked at her seriously, his dark eyes intense. I run operations in Seoul's underworld. I have connections with people who do very dark things. I've done dark things myself. I'm involved in things that would land me in prison if certain people found out. Things that involve violence and coercion and activities that decent people don't touch. Like what? Things I won't tell you because I don't want you to look at me differently. Things that would make you leave this bed and never come back. Try me. No. His voice was firm, leaving no room for argument. You don't need that darkness in your mind. You're already carrying enough from what he's done to you. Camille reached for his hand, laced her fingers through his. Then why tell me at all? Because I'm falling in love with you. He turned to face her fully, his expression vulnerable in a way she'd never seen. Because I want more than these stolen afternoons. I want you in my life fully, openly. But I don't think you'll stay in my world once you really see it. Why not? Because you're good, Camille. Pure in a way that I'm not. You pray. You feel guilty about breaking vows to a man who's been breaking you for years. You have a conscience that actually works, that tells you right from wrong. My world doesn't have room for that. My world requires you to accept that sometimes violence is necessary, that sometimes the rules have to be broken, that sometimes good people have to do bad things to survive. So what are you saying? I'm saying I'm serious about you, dead serious. But I'm also saying you deserve better than me, better than him, better than this half-life we're living. Camille felt tears forming. You're trying to push me away. I'm trying to be honest. He cupped her face, his thumbs tracing her cheekbones. I can help you leave him. I can give you resources, money, connections to stay in Korea legally. I have people who can arrange paperwork, who can make sure your visa situation is handled. But I can't promise you a clean, simple life. Because that's not what I have to offer. My life is complicated and dangerous and dark. I don't know what I want anymore, she whispered, leaning into his touch. I just know that when I'm with you, I don't feel dead inside. I feel live. I feel seen. I feel like I matter. Jae-sung pulled her close, holding her tight against his chest. Then for now, that's enough. But they both knew it wasn't a long-term answer. They couldn't live on stolen Tuesdays and Thursdays forever. Eventually, Something would have to give. You look different. Minji set down her coffee cup with a soft clink, studying Camille across the small table. They were at a cafe in Gangnam mid-afternoon on a Wednesday, one of Camille's carefully constructed alibis. The cafe was trendy and modern, all white marble and hanging plants, the kind of place where young Korean women took Instagram photos of their drinks. Do I? Lighter somehow, less... Minji searched for the word, her perfectly manicured hand gesturing vaguely. Less crushed. Like there's actually light in your eyes again, instead of that dead, look you've been carrying for years. Camille wrapped her hands around her latte, feeling the warmth seep into her palms. I'm thinking about divorce. What? Minji nearly knocked over her cup, catching it at the last second. Really? But you've been married for 3 years of hell. Camille looked down at her drink, watching the foam slowly dissolve. He hasn't been good to me, Minji, for a long time. Oh, honey. Minji reached across the table, her hand covering Camille's. Her voice dropped, became softer, more concerned. I had no idea. You never said anything. All those times we had coffee, all those dinners when the four of us went out, you seemed fine. You smiled and laughed and acted like everything was perfect. I was ashamed. I didn't want anyone to know that I'd failed, that I'd married someone who treats me like I'm worthless, that the perfect marriage everyone thought we had was actually a prison I couldn't escape. That's not your failure. That's his. They sat in silence for a moment, the cafe noise washing over them, the hiss of the espresso machine, the chatter of other customers, the K-pop playing softly overhead. Is there someone else? Minji asked gently, her eyes knowing. Camille's face flushed, warmth creeping up her neck. Why would you ask that? Because you're glowing, and I've known you long enough to recognize that look. That's not just, I'm leaving my husband energy. That's someone else is making me feel alive energy. It's complicated. Tell me. Minji leaned forward, her whole attention focused. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen. Camille took a breath, then another. There's someone who makes me feel alive again, who makes me remember what it's like to be wanted instead of tolerated. Minji's eyes lit up with genuine happiness and curiosity. Tell me everything. Who is he? How did you meet? What's he like? How long has this been going on? It was an accident. Camille felt herself smiling despite everything. That genuine smile that had been missing from her face for years. A wrong number text. I thought I was texting Ji-hoon, asking him to meet me because I needed him. And this stranger answered instead. What's he like? Minji was practically bouncing in her seat now, invested in this story. Camille's whole face softened, her eyes getting that faraway look people get when they think about someone they love. Intense, protective, dangerous maybe. He has this edge to him that Ji-hoon never had, but he makes me feel safe in a way I never have before. When I'm with him, I remember who I used to be, before Ji-hoon slowly erased me, before I forgot that I used to paint and laugh and have opinions and dreams. Are you in love with him? Yes. The word came out as barely more than a whisper, but it felt like shouting. God help me, yes. I didn't mean to fall in love. I didn't mean for it to go this far. But somewhere between the coffee meetings and the conversations and the way he listens to me, like what I say actually matters. I fell. Hard. Does he love you? He says he does. But he also says he doesn't think I'll stay in his world. Minji frowned. What does that mean? His life is complicated. His business is complicated. He's not like Ji-hoon, corporate and respectable on the surface, climbing the ladder at some tech company. He's something darker. Something less legitimate, I think, though he won't tell me details. Darker how? Minji's concern was evident now. I don't know all the details. Camille wrapped both hands around her cup, needing something to hold on to. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to know. He's told me enough for me to understand that his world involves things that aren't legal, things that could be dangerous. But all I know for sure is that when I'm with him, I feel alive. And when I'm at home, I feel like I'm dying a little more each day. So what are you going to do? I don't know. Camille's voice cracked slightly. Part of me wants to leave Jihoon, file for divorce, take whatever comes, start over completely, even if it means going back to America, even if it means being broke and starting from zero. But another part of me feels guilty, like I'm breaking sacred vows. Like even though he broke them first, I'm no better than him if I do this. Minji squeezed her hands tighter. Camille, listen to me. He broke those vows first. He's been breaking them every single day. He treats you like you're worthless. Every time he chose his work over you, his mistress over you, his ego over you. He's been unfaithful in every way that matters. I know. Intellectually, I know that. But emotionally, Camille's eyes filled with tears. I made promises before God. I meant those vows when I said them. And now I'm breaking them, and I don't know if the fact that he broke them first makes it okay, or if I'm just making excuses for my own sin. You still feel guilty? Camille nodded, a tear escaping down her cheek. She wiped it away quickly, not wanting to make a scene in the cafe. Listen to me. Minji's voice was firm but kind. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be treated like you matter. And if this man, whoever he is, makes you feel that way, then maybe that's what you need right now. Maybe that's not sin. Maybe that's survival. But what about my vows? What about being faithful? What about your vows were to love, honor, and cherish? Has Jihoon done any of that? No. Then he's the one who broke the marriage, not you. You're just finally accepting that it's broken and has been for a long time. They sat together for a while longer, Minji holding Camille's hands across the table. Two women in a busy cafe having a conversation that felt monumentally important. Whatever you decide, Minji said finally. I'm here. If you need a place to stay, if you need help with lawyers, if you just need someone to listen, I'm here. Thank you, Camille whispered, meaning it with her whole heart. Camille returned home from coffee as the sun was starting to set, turning Seoul's sky into shades of orange and pink. She found Jihoon there, which was rare these days. He was sitting on the couch with his laptop, still in his work clothes, but with his tie loosened. He barely looked up when she entered. Where were you? His voice was flat, disinterested. The tone you'd use with a maid or delivery person, not your wife. Coffee with Minji. That was it. No follow-up questions, no interest in how her friend was doing, how their conversation went, whether she'd had a good time. Just that single, non-committal sound that acknowledged he'd heard her, but couldn't care less about the answer. She walked past him to the bedroom, put away her purse, changed into comfortable clothes, loose sweatpants and a t-shirt. He didn't even glance up from his laptop when she came back out. Before this would have hurt. Before she would have tried harder to engage him, to make him see her, to draw some kind of response from him. She would have asked about his day, offered to make his favorite dinner, suggested they watch a movie together. Now, she felt nothing. Just a hollow emptiness where pain used to live. Next Friday, I have an important dinner, he said without looking up from his phone. His chopsticks moved mechanically from plate to mouth. Good for you. It's a Friday night. Don't wait up. I never do anymore. That made him look up finally. Something cold flickered in his eyes. What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what I said. They held each other's stare for a moment, a wordless battle of wills. Then he went back to his phone, dismissing her. It was a different evening entirely when Yuna let herself into her uncle's penthouse with her key. The way she'd been doing since she was a teenager, and he'd given her free access to his space. She found him in the kitchen, actually cooking, which was rare, with music playing softly from speakers. Okay, who is she? Jae-sung looked up from chopping vegetables, a slight smile on his face. Who is who? The woman who has you actually using your kitchen for the first time in 5 years. Who has you smiling like that? Who has you looking less like you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? Yuna hopped up onto the counter, her legs swinging. Uncle, you forget I've known you my whole life. You're different, lighter. So, tell me about her. Jae-sung set down his knife, turned to face her. Am I that obvious? To me, yes. So, details. Who is she? How did you meet? What's she like? There's not much to tell. She's complicated. Complicated how? She's married. Yuna's eyes went wide. Uncle, you're having an affair? You, who always told me to stay away from married men, are having an affair? Her marriage was dead long before I met her. His voice was firm, defensive. Her husband is not a good man. He treats her terribly, makes her feel worthless. She deserves so much better than what he gives her. Does she know what you do? Your real business? Not the import-export cover story you tell people at parties? Some of it, not all of it. I don't want to scare her away by telling her everything. Do you love her? Jae-sung paused, really paused, thinking about his answer. Yes. God help me, yes. I wasn't planning to. This wasn't supposed to be this. But somewhere along the way, I fell. Hard. Yuna's face softened with genuine happiness for him. Then I'm happy for you. You deserve love too, Uncle. Not just the half-life you've been living. She paused, then smiled. Can I tell you something? I've been seeing someone too. Oh? He's married too, or was. It's complicated. Jae-sung's face showed concern now, the protective uncle emerging. Yuna, I know what you're thinking, but he says he's leaving his wife. That she means nothing to him. That their marriage is just paperwork now. That I'm the one he wants, the one he loves. And you believe him? I do. I know how it sounds, but Uncle, he's serious about me. He talks about our future, about what we'll do when he's finally free. He's not just stringing me along. Jae-sung studied her face, seeing the hope and love there, and chose not to crush it with cynicism. If he makes you happy. He does. He really does. Yuna hopped off the counter, came to stand beside him. Actually, I wanted to ask you something. Can I introduce him to you? I'd really like your approval, your blessing. You're the only family I have, and your opinion matters more than anyone's. When? Next week? Next Friday? Dinner here? You could bring your lady too if you wanted. Make it a double date. What do you think, Uncle? Okay. Stop. Before you click away, we need to talk about what you just witnessed. Camille is in love with Jae-sung. Ji-hoon is in love with Yuna. But Yuna is Jae-sung's niece. The woman sleeping with Camille's husband is the favorite niece of the man Camille is sleeping with. And nobody knows. Next Friday at 8 p.m., Ji-hoon is walking into Jae-sung's penthouse to meet Yuna's uncle for a business dinner. Jae-sung is about to meet his beloved niece's boyfriend. They're going to see each other's faces. So here's what I need from you right now. Drop your predictions in the comments. What do you think is going to happen? Tell me what time you watch this drop. I want to know if you're here at the crack of dawn or late night binge watching. And be honest with me. Are you team Jae-sung, the dangerous lover? Or team walk away? She should leave them both. Because part 3? That dinner scene? I'm telling you right now. It's going to be the most intense thing I've written for this channel. Subscribe. Turn on all notifications. Comment your theories below. See you soon. Don't forget to tell me your predictions. Let's go.